Hi, I'm Tracie Mahan, and you're about to listen to a channeled Ascension activation session where the client takes us on a journey to new energy for the 5D Earth, what that looks like, sacred geometry, soul groups, twin flames, our health in 5D and our bodies in 5D, and so much more. There was a little bit of sound quality interference through this video. It isn't too bad, but if you hear it, just have a little patience with it. Go ahead and take a listen. And today is a very magical day. You definitely have a collection all around you. It would be much like what you would consider to be a parade, like you yourself are going down the middle of the street, and all of these wonderful councils are here to support you and cheer you on. So what do we want to do today? We are going to check into your energy, and then we'll go from there. Your star part is how we're hearing it. Your star part would like to merge with you today. Do you give permission for the star part of you to merge?
Yes.
And that is going to be coming in on your right side. And so we're just going to have that happen. And it feels like with that star part, there's also a bit of a download coming in for you as well. So let us know. Can you feel the download coming in as the star part enters into your field?
Yes, I can.
And as the star part connects with you, can you feel any shift with your energy?
Yes, I can definitely feel the energy is completely shifted. It feels like we're kind of one at the moment.
Wonderful. What is it that the star part wants you to know? What is the purpose of the star part joining you today?
I kind of feel like it's a cool answer to my question of who my star part is, and it feels like he's come here today to show me he's here with me all the time.
We don't know why yet, but we want you to notice what is above you in your mind's eye. What is going on above you? They're not showing us yet, so we want to look above you, and so maybe you can see what it is.
What I see is a showering of rainbow lights coming from a central source, almost like a pinhole coming out from above in every single color of the rainbow. Like it kind of feels like a portal. So it kind of starts above me, and then it starts feeling like I'm moving towards it and through it and into it, like going through a tube, like going through a tube full of colors on either side, like a super fast portal.
And so you have entered a portal.
That's what it feels like, definitely.
And then just keep telling us about that. Where is that taking you?
What I'm seeing now, it looks like the schematics of some kind of a system. It looks like it's the inside. It looks similar. I don't really know how to explain it. It looks like the inside of a computer where you see all sorts of motherboard connections, but it's all in light. It's all in a huge variety of light colors, every single color. But it's all very angular, and it looks like some kind of a schematic diagram for something. And it seems like everything is just light. So instead of in a computer where you've got hardware.
And do you know why it is showing up as light?
The technology for Earth, it's not a new kind of technology. It's a technology that Earth needs to discover, needs to be given to us, or we need to start using to replace all the other technologies in terms of propulsion. And it's a different kind of energy source. So it will replace all the energy sources that we have on Earth right now with something that is above.
How would Earth get this technology?
It would seem that they are trying to give it to us. It would seem that they're trying to give it to us. This is what it feels like I'm looking at the schematics of it. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to understand it though.
Is it possible that they would be able to give the schematics in a download for those who it is intended for to create this technology so that they could understand it?
Yes, I think so.
What else would they like to show you?
This won't go away. This idea won't go away. This seems to be a very, very, very important thing that needs to get to the right people at the right time, fairly timelessly, because this is going to change. It's going to change the way we do everything on Earth
And
and transition everything that we're currently needing energy for into an energy source that's in alignment with the new Earth.
Is there anything you can do to help get it to the right source? Are you one of the people that needs to develop this?
It feels like I'm not the one that's supposed to develop it, but I do have access to it somehow. Just don't know how.
And what are you supposed to do with this access?
It feels like I need to take this information to people who do know what to do with it. And now I'm actually getting kind of glimpses of people that I actually do know that might know what to do with this.
That was the next question. Beautiful. So they are showing you the ones.
Yeah.
And how do you bring them this information?
They seem to be saying that this information will be given to me. This information will be given to me, and I now know the right people to take this to.
So you will know what to do with it when the time comes.
Yeah.
Anything else they want you to know about that?
Yes, that this can also be used in terms of engineering through sacred geometry. So our engineering is all going to change. We do already have the capability on Earth to create things using sacred geometry.
And who is it that is giving you this information?
What I'm seeing is ET ships. They seem to be custodians of this information and need to ensure that this information gets to Earth, to the correct people quite quickly. So I'm seeing a huge mothership and quite a lot of smaller ships. We're all making sure that this information gets to the right people.
Are they going to help protect and keep safe those who are developing this technology?
Completely. It seems like that's exactly that they are here to make sure that this technology gets into the right hands with the right people at the right time. We have custodians of it to make sure that it doesn't go astray or not get to the right people.
Yes.
That nothing goes astray or nothing actually stops this. It seems like they're almost clearing a way for this to happen.
And when the Earth gets this technology, how does it change the planet?
I think it seems to change everything. What I'm seeing is kind of type of thing, but it's creating things in sacred geometry. So everything that we start to create completely is in line with New Earth and the frequency at which New Earth is at now. So we don't actually engineer or build anything. Everything we create is going to be at the same frequency as New Earth is now. So that there's going to be nothing. There's going to be nothing that we create that's going to resonate at a lower frequency. Everything that we start to create with, in terms of sacred geometry, is going to be at the exact correct frequency for the new Earth.
And so you are saying that the power systems and systems that the Earth is using now is operating at a lower frequency?
Yes, everything that we are creating and everything and all the power sources that we have are at a much lower frequency than New Earth.
So they will not be sustainable in the new Earth. We need a new...
No, they will actually disappear completely because the new technologies are so much more advanced and at the correct frequency that will resonate with New Earth, and it won't be in conflict with the frequency of New Earth. It will be at exactly the same frequency. So the whole Earth will change completely because we'll no longer be the frequencies of Earth herself, and what we are creating within Earth aren't going to be in conflict anymore. We'll start everything that we create will be part of Earth. It'll be in the same mathematical and same geometrical design as she is. So the same geometry that creates a leaf will create a building that we need or anything that we need. It'll be from the same geometric pattern that Earth and nature is created, that Mother Earth is created from. Anything that we'll create.
We're having an interesting experience over here where they are showing us as you talk what it is you are speaking of with the creation through the sacred geometry and the frequency and vibration of that. And it is lifting the energy of the physical vehicle over here that we talk through and causing a much lighter, happier frequency just within the conversation itself. So her question that she will ask through us is, will this frequency that is now being used in New Earth, this new energy frequency and grid, will it help to keep the vibration and the 5D frequency moving through the individuals who exist in the 5D? Is it part of what helps sustain that vibration for the people?
Yes, absolutely. Everything is a collective consciousness, and everything has consciousness, including the inanimate objects that we create have a consciousness of their own. The more we create in line with the new Earth frequency or the 5D frequency, the more the collective consciousness of Earth as a whole will shift more towards the 5D. So the more we can create resonating with the 5D Earth, the easier it'll be for all of us to shift.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything we create, everything that has a frequency, everything has a frequency. So as we shift our technology frequency into a higher dimensional frequency, Earth herself becomes stronger in a 5-dimensional frequency, which therefore affects the entire collective consciousness, including us, including people, including everything.
Mm-hmm. And as you're aware of this 5D Earth and this frequency, what is it that you can tell us that you see, notice, or experience that would be an interesting piece to add to this? What do you notice about 5D Earth?
All I'm seeing is that 5D Earth is in complete harmony and balance. So we start to incorporate these different technologies, far more advanced technologies. The technologies are completely in harmony and balance with Earth and with nature. It's the same frequency. We use light as a power source, and we use sacred geometry to create. So we can create anything from new nature to vehicles in which to travel at a much higher frequency in line with Earth's vibration, with new Earth's vibration. Everything is just the most beautiful, harmonious.
Mm-hmm. We had a question for you about the vehicles to travel. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the vehicles will look like or what that will entail?
What I'm seeing, what I'm being shown is the vehicles that are assisting us now in ensuring that this technology gets to the right people to be able to create or replicate this energy or start transitioning our power sources on Earth. That's more in line with what our vehicles will be. In terms of everything will be based on light technology, so completely out of the realm of what our capabilities are now in terms of traveling at speeds of light, using light as a power source, leaving no kind of a what we call now as a carbon footprint. It's all just completely in line with a much higher vibrational frequency. I see a lot of light in terms of it's almost like traveling through time and space. It's going to enable us to travel through time and space quicker, at speeds that we have no concept of.
Mm-hmm. And in sci-fi movies, they show the teleportation type devices. Is that something that the Earth will see in the future?
Yes, what I see is it's going to happen really soon.
Mm-hmm.
What I also see is that seems to be one side is the technology in terms of actually creating vehicles in which to teleport and which to travel in. But the other side is being at mm, using what we have internally in terms of advancing our telepathic communication. And what I'm seeing now is some of us are already able to telepathically communicate through time and space. And what I'm seeing now is the next step from that is in the fifth dimension, our physical manifestation is purely a physical manifestation. So our telepathic communication skills are advanced to the point where we can then actually move our physical being through time and space, not just our energetic being through time and space.
Amazing. That will be quite a time. Is there anything else that you can share about New Earth?
I'm just seeing that it's already here. New Earth is here. It's already here, and it's a complete culmination of advanced technology, which we pretty much already have, as well as developing remembering our gifts and our skills and our abilities. So it's a combination of everything in the most beautifully harmonious and balanced way and form. And I see a lot of creativity. I see a lot of creativity, a lot of creating of nature, a lot of creating of being in harmony with nature, a lot of creating of the most different types of nature. All I'm seeing is sacred geometry. I've seen like this crazy amount of sacred geometry, which I don't really understand right now, but it just seems like we already have access to this information and already have access to these new ways of constructing in the pattern of Mother Earth, in the pattern of the fifth dimensional realm.
Mm-hmm. We want you to ask a little deeper questions about the sacred geometry, as the curiosity around that is very big. Ask them to explain to you how the sacred geometry works with creating this frequency, creating this world.
What I'm seeing is that everything in nature, all I'm seeing is that the entire new earth broken down when it's deconstructed is sacred geometry. Everything that we see in nature that may seem chaotic has a pattern, and this pattern is just the sacred geometry.
And is all of the sacred geometry, as you look at these patterns and these trees and the air and the land, is it different shapes, or is it all the same shape and the same sacred geometry?
It's very much different shapes. It's very much different shapes coming through. There's the spiral shapes, there's more angular shapes. I'm just seeing kind of elements of nature being broken down into hundreds of different patterns of sacred geometry, all in different shapes and sizes, and from spirals to angular shapes. And now it's all breaking down into mathematics, which I can't understand at all, but it seems like it's deconstructed New Earth, first of all into sacred geometry, now into mathematics. And now I just see hundreds, and it seems like there's a lot of people on Earth who can already write these formulas, who have the capability to write the mathematical formulas which create this sacred geometry, which in turn create Mother Nature, New Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So we already completely have all of this information. And it seems like it's those people who, a lot of them coming into Earth now, but there are more and more people coming onto Earth now, which are born with this advanced knowledge. It's inherently a part of them. They're coming to Earth with this information to assist us. So it's important to protect those coming to Earth now, because they are coming here with this advanced knowledge and with this advanced technology, which will allow us to create more mathematical formulas, creating sacred geometry, manifesting new things, manifesting anything that we would like to be a part of New Earth, and anything that we want and we create within this formula will be in harmony with, at the correct frequency.
Wonderful. And when you say the ones coming now, who do you mean? Who's coming?
A lot of these coming now are born already in the correct frequency.
So you mean the children?
The children, a lot of the children are already being born in the correct frequency, and especially those that are not resonating with anything which is of a lower vibrational energy, those which are termed and put into boxes called autistic, or any of these phrases which we use to define these people that don't resonate with three-dimensional earth, are not resonating with three-dimensional earth because they're in a different frequency already. They've been born already in this new frequency. So it's very important to protect these while they develop, while they grow, because they hold all of the sacred geometry. They already are entering earth with this knowledge to assist us. Although there are already people on earth who are doing this or have the capability to do this now, there's more and more being born on this earth to assist at a later stage with creation on you.
Mm-hmm. So the ones that struggle in the 3D reality, when they reach the 5D, they will no longer struggle? Is that what I'm understanding?
No, not at all. It's just the parts of the 3D earth that really is resonating with them, and they're in a little bit of pain because they're born in a high frequency and into an earth with a lot of three-dimensional density, and they feel very uncomfortable. So we need to assist them, and there are people on this earth who can already telepathically communicate with these children,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to be assisted in surrounding them with the correct frequency. They need to be surrounded by the frequency of the new earth. They need to be surrounded by the frequency of sacred geometry, of new earth, or anything that was created within the sacred geometry, which is anything nature related. They can be helped by placing them back into that vibration.
And what would they like you to see or experience next?
I'm seeing we have a lot of help. There is a huge amount of assistance. There is a lot of support for this shift that's happening into new earth. Seems like the probability of this happening sooner rather than later is really high at the moment. Seeing huge amounts of energetic waves just being pulsated towards earth.
And what can you tell us about these waves? How is it affecting the humans?
I'm seeing it's almost like a clearing wave. It's like these waves are almost, anything that doesn't resonate with these waves is being pushed out. It's almost like a cleaning or a scouring. It's most definitely the probability of us transitioning is getting higher and higher and sooner in terms of linear time.
Mm-hmm.
I just see these energetic waves coming into Earth, and energy pulses that we're feeling coming to Earth is increasing the probability of an entire shift to a much closer linear time frame.
Mm-hmm.
With persisting as anything resonating below the energetic shifts that are coming through, the energetic pulses that are coming through, we're almost getting wiped out.
They're getting wiped out? Is that what you said?
We're almost deleting a lot of the low vibrational energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for people on Earth experiencing this, it's any frequency coming in which is different from the frequency at which people are resonating is painful to a certain extent until such time as it's creates an equilibrium. So each time these energetic pulses come towards Earth, it's an uncomfortable feeling because of the difference in the vibrational frequency of these pulses and the state of the density of the energy in which we're living on Earth. But it's clearing it very, very quickly to bring Earth into far more of an equilibrium, and it's starting to bring all the inhabitants of Earth very, very quickly into an equilibrium.
So the frequencies are disrupting the equilibrium and making things uncomfortable, I think is what we heard you say there. Was there more to add to that, as you were cutting out a lot?
Oh, no, it's definitely helping us transition into a higher vibrational frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But it's bloody uncomfortable feeling because everything vibrates on a certain frequency. So it's a slight discomfort as we transition, but we transition very quickly. And these energetic pulses that are coming towards Earth are helping us transition faster and faster. It's bringing forward the timeline of a complete shift into a fifth dimensional reality, into the new Earth completely. It's bringing it forward really quickly.
Yes, we feel like we're experiencing some of those frequencies coming in between our communication, as it makes it go fast and then slows down and then goes fast. And we think that maybe this is a good example of how that might feel in the real world, as your voice will be delayed and then rapidly catches up, and then you are speaking normal again, and then it gets delayed and then rapidly catches us up, and then you are normal again. And so we actually feel like this is a comical way for spirit or for these helpers to show us what this might feel like a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Mm-hmm. And so we ask, there's so much information here that we are taking in.
I think so.
And as you are still there in this new earth energy, and you are saying you feel it is coming sooner than later, what is it that Earth needs to do, people need to do to prepare for this time frame sooner than
For
later?
me, it's good. Can you hear me?
Are you able to hear us okay?
Yes, is your question, what can we do on Earth to prepare for these energetic waves and
Yes,
this timeline?
exactly.
I think the energetic waves are showing us exactly what we need to do. We first of all need to understand that, as you put it, this roller coaster of backwards and forwards and faster and slower is normal, and it's part of the path that we're on towards a higher frequency. Every time we're sent energy waves, we're given new portals and new ways to access higher frequencies. So we need to take the time to go within and listen to the voices and listen to the intuition. Nothing is as it was. Everything is new and everything is different. So to release any kind of a belief system that we may be living according to, and any kind of an expectation of where we're headed to, and simply release anything which is feeling like it needs to be released to allow us to move forward. It's important now to focus on all the energetic assistance that we're being given very, very quickly, and to use it to access these portals into higher levels of frequency. We are already on a trajectory where the energy waves coming in are at a higher vibrational frequency, which will show us very, very clearly what it is within each of us, and that can be moved away from, that can be released, and all frames of reference which we are accustomed to living within can be released. This is a new frequency, allowing new possibilities, which are infinite. So any sort of limitation of possibilities need to be released. We're living in a different realm of possibilities. We're heading towards an even greater range of possibilities. So it's important to release any limitations that we've been accustomed to living, and any sort of frame of reference will start to become very, very clear. Any limiting belief system will start to become abundantly obvious and need to be released. And the more we release any limitations based on our frame of reference, living in a three-dimensional reality, as we release those, We will be more easily able to live within a fifth dimensional reality where our possibilities are infinite.
It is such a powerful thing coming in. Wonderful.
It is very exciting. It is difficult from living in a three-dimensional reality to fully grasp the potential of limitless possibility. It's indeed a very exciting time.
And is there anything else they would want us to know or show us for the 5D Earth?
Yes, the main message is that nothing is going to be as it was, but in the completely best way imaginable. The frame of reference that a three-dimensional being has is just a completely outdated operating system which needs to be released. And the sooner we are able to release that operating system, the sooner we will see the complete, boundless, unlimited possibilities that are available on a fifth dimensional reality, which are already available to us in this moment. This is not something that occurs within any type of linear future. This is available to everybody right now in this moment. It is simply a matter of releasing outdated operating systems and understanding that a fifth dimensional reality operates in a completely different way on the basis of unlimited potential, unlimited possibility.
And that is a wonderful message. And where would they like to take you now?
I'm just seeing a whole lot of things. Seeing a lot of unicorns. I'm seeing a lot of amazingly powerful horses. I'm seeing it looks like a big party. That is what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing this brightly colorful new earth, which is just so vibrant in every single color of the rainbow. It's glowing in so many different colors. Every single color is radiating from earth. And kind of around earth's halo, which is a rainbow of so many colors, she's just resonating out kind of rainbow, almost like a energy wave resonating out, almost like a ripple coming from a stone thrown into water, except it's earth, just resonating this beautifully colored rainbow. And in this energy wave of color and light resonating out from her is just every single kind of being that one can imagine, all just completely rejoicing. I think I kind of get the feeling that they're all here, that this is the new earth that is available to us right now. And it's just every single kind of being that you can imagine, all in Earth's kind of rainbow halo.
And so, what is the message with that? What is it they want you to take from that?
This is what is here right now. This is what is here right now. This is available to us now in this dimension, and it's right now.
And this is also the new earth?
Yes, the new earth is here right now. All of the support for us is here right now. It's almost like we just literally need to unplug ourselves from a 3D earth. We literally just need to pull out that plug.
And how does one do that? If you were to explain to someone how to unplug from 3D so they can experience this beautiful world of the fifth dimension, how does one unplug?
I'm kind of getting the feeling it's a lot of letting go and trusting and flowing. It's almost like these energy waves have been sent to Earth to show us exactly how to unplug. So anything that's stopping working, it seems like very, very quickly, things that used to work in our reality all of a sudden are not working. Things are going wrong in just a short while ago, a short few months ago, seemed to be working. All of a sudden, people are experiencing huge blocks in terms of relationships or work or jobs or anything these frequency waves are trying to show us what to let go of, what to unplug. And as if we can become more aware of what is very clearly no longer working for us, we can unplug each one at a time. And as soon as we've unplugged them all, then this is right here, this huge celebration of color and radiance and rainbow energy waves is right here. It's literally just unplugging from that dark, difficult, anything dark, anything painful can be unplugged. You can just pull the plug out. It is that simple. As soon as it becomes difficult, as soon as it becomes difficult is a choice. Difficult is an old operating framework. Difficult is not part of the new earth. Anything that becomes more and more difficult is showing itself to you to be something which one can unplug and let go of, and just let go of, just unplug from it, just move away from it, just unplug it and move. It seems to be that simple, and as soon as you unplug it from it, then you can start to flow, then you can start to move towards this beautiful new earth, which is pulling us towards itself in this rainbow of color. It's kind of trying to suck us away from these plugs that we keep on holding on to. So it's literally just a case of once you recognize them, just unplug them. And then this flow starts to occur.
Mm-hmm. And have you been experiencing this happening for you?
Yes, yes, but very much how you've explained it. As the energy waves come down, it is going to feel like a flow, and then another frequency energy update will be sent to Earth to assist us to once again show us any more plugs that we need to be aware of. And then it will feel like hitting some more walls, making us turn around and see which plugs are still attached, pulling them out, and then flowing again. So this is very much a roller coaster ride of flowing, then being shown more plugs, and we're just getting closer and closer to the point where it will be the last plug and we'll just flow right into the new one.
Wonderful. We keep seeing everyone unplugging their plugs. Mm-hmm. We'll keep imagining that. We like this idea. And so is it as simple as just choosing to unplug the plug? Or is it more complicated than that?
No, it is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It really is that simple. I think a lot of the times we're trying to overcomplicate the process, whereas at the moment we're being assisted on so many different levels. It literally is a choice to either keep the plug plugged in or to release it. And as soon as one has released it, one gets closer to new earth, closer to a flow state. One can't hold on to the plug and reach out for a new earth. One has to kind of unplug to flow closer towards new earth.
We are enjoying that information. Is there anything else they want to share why they have this platform of the New Earth?
I think the most important thing is this is have fun. Don't take this so seriously. This is definitely the time to enjoy this ride. Enjoy this ride. It's not you don't get to remember, you don't get to wake up every lifetime. So enjoy this. Enjoy this. This is why everybody chose to be here for this exact moment in time. So enjoy this. This can't go wrong. This cannot go wrong. This path, this trajectory happening, it's inevitable. The more we can enjoy it, the more we can flow with the shift.
Mm-hmm. We like this concept of it's not every lifetime you get to wake up. That is very, very
no,
fun
this
information.
this is why we all chose to be here right now and for this exact moment, and just enjoy every second of it, enjoy every moment of it. And the more we enjoy this ride, the more we enjoy this, the quicker this timeline is going to be built towards.
Mm-hmm. We have a question we would like to ask about the counterpart or twin flame or split apart, many different names for it in the human or earth realm. What can you tell us about the twin flame connections, the counterpart connections, and what is happening with those at this time for yourself and for the collective?
The twin flame idea is the twin flames are most definitely being magnetized towards each other. This is an inevitability. So this is why it is important that if relationships are not resonating any longer, it's okay, they've served their purpose. If things that were working a few months ago are no longer working, if relationships that were working a few years ago are no longer working, there's a reason for that. It's because you're being called towards your twin flame. So that is just yet another plug that, that that we need to release and unplug from in order to feel magnetized towards our twin flame. The twin flame can be anything. It can be any form of a relationship. It does not necessarily need to be a romantic relationship. It can be any type of relationship. So anything that you feel within your heart energy pushing you away from certain people or relationships and towards other people or relationships, listen to it. People know which is the heart energy speaking. People know which is the intention behind certain things, and people will just stop resonating with other people for a specific reason. It means the energy is wrong. It means the universe is trying to push you away from something towards something else. So listen and be aware of these shifts and understand that it is all completely normal and it is supposed to be happening. And it seems like a very confusing time where certain relationships that have been in play for a very, very long time all of a sudden will no longer resonate. And there's a reason for that. And it is okay to feel the pull of the heart energy, to feel the pull of the universe, almost like magnets repelling you from some energies and pushing you towards other energies. So this is happening, and this is most certainly speeding up as we bring the timeline of New Earth towards ourselves.
Mm. And so it is inevitable to be pulled to your flame. Does everyone have one at this time? Or is there just a certain number of twins that have come at this time?
Everyone has one, some have more than one.
And how does that work?
So it is sometimes a collective or a group. It is not necessarily only two souls that feel resonance towards each other. In some cases, it's the universe herding groups or individuals or couples of energetically aligned people together in order to expedite this shift. It is a way that the universe uses the frequency of certain groups of people who are meant to be working together to increase the vortexes of the energy and the frequency on Earth to expedite this shift towards each other. So she almost uses like a magnetic type of energy to repel people away from some people toward other people at specific times. So that is why it may seem confusing as older relationships or relationships crumble, connections that people have had for an entire lifetime start to shift. It is the universe herding certain energetic groups of people towards each other. And this is all necessary to create a framework of higher frequency vibration in the collective consciousness. It's almost she's magnetic type of energy to there's no better word for it than herd groups of people together for specific reasons. So those people who decided to come to Earth for specific reasons to be a part of this are being attracted to one another right now. And this is the twin flame concept.
And what is your twin flame collective look like?
There is, there's a collective, very large collective. It's almost like a layer around Earth of a certain type of twin flame collective.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a stronger twin flame connection, which is coming.
And would that one
There
be
seems to be a
romantic?
lot of, yes, that is romantic, but it seems like a little bit of disentanglement needs to occur before that will manifest.
For both, or for who has the disentanglement?
The other person needs to disentangle from some relationships which are outdated.
Mm-hmm. And that is going on for a lot of people in the collective at this time, correct? Where they are being pulled away
Yeah,
from their karmic relationships.
yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
correct. That's exactly.
Yes. And so they are completing those cycles and preparing to meet their romantic twin at this time.
Yes.
And yes, there is a lot of that going on. And when these twin energies, or these collective soul councils, is how we're seeing it, collective souls come together, and they are creating, is this creating a new frequency? What is it doing energetically for the planet?
It's enhancing the higher frequency as these soul collectives, as you put it, come together. That energy is compounded exponentially by this union of intention and this collective collaboration of these souls. It is just very, very powerful. It is so much more powerful than each individual higher frequency vibrational being operating independently. This is evolution. This is what New Earth is. It's collective souls. It's collaboration. It's a completely different paradigm from the one that we have experienced. It's a completely different reality, and this is what we're starting to experience now, and this is what's pulling soul collectives together to do this together. This is the energy that groups of people resonating at a higher frequency. It's just there's a stronger people who are unplugging more plugs from the three-dimensional reality and tending more towards this high vibrational energy are so drawn into collectives, because this is a new paradigm. It's the paradigm of the collective. It's a paradigm of collaboration. It's the paradigm of love.
Mm-hmm. And what happens to, say, free will or individual choice when you become part of a collective?
It becomes one and the same. Um, it's it's definitely one of these things that three-dimensional Earth is, as difficult as it seems, was always was the draw of three-dimensional Earth was always this idea of free will. The fifth dimensional reality is that one's free will becomes the ultimate choice. What one is drawn to do, there will be no other choice. It will not ever seem like a choice one has to make between free will and the collective. It will be one and the same. It
Mm-hmm.
is most definitely, it is most definitely a fear that people are still, it is one of those plugs that people do not want to pull out, because it's the fear of the lack of free will, or the lack of the freedom of choice in joining this collective and losing one's autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fear of losing one's autonomy, but at the same time, the autonomy that one has within the collective is completely autonomous. there will not ever have to be a choice once one is born into this collective. The free will will always be to be part of the collective. It will never have to be a choice. It will never seem to have to be a choice. It will not even cross one's mind as to should I join the collective or should I do my own thing. It will not be a choice to make. It will be such a strong draw and such a strong resonance that one will not even consider a different choice.
And when you're talking of the strong draw and the strong resonance of this collective, like you were saying, some fear the unplugging of that free will, of that individual dynamic. Can you explain what that feeling is to be part of a collective and why that shift is made where this is no longer an issue? The feeling that one might have when they are part of a collective, so that there is an understanding here of why would somebody be willing to give up their individual for a collective? And it is not to say that they give up the individual, but you understand the question. Why would somebody give their attention to the collective versus the individual? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. I think the individual is very much, it is not in being part of the collective that one loses one's individuality. It's a bit of a different concept. The idea of that is not the case at all. Everyone is still an individual within the collective, and everyone is seen as an individual within the collective. It's more of a complete acceptance of the individual. So it is not the becoming of the same. We are not going to become carbon copies or photocopies of one another. Each individual will still come with their own set of specific roles, specific specialties, and some specific. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle fitting together, completely different and completely individualized, and yet fits perfectly into the bigger picture, creating the bigger picture, creating the collective. So it is most certainly not losing one's individuality. A jigsaw puzzle piece is still completely its own shape and its own size and its own color and its own pattern, and yet it fits perfectly together with those that surround it perfectly, even though they are different color, different shapes, and have different roles. But when one stands back and looks at the entire picture, it's the most beautifully perfect picture. But it has to be that every single piece of the jigsaw puzzle is completely different from the next. So one is not losing one's individuality. In fact, one is celebrated for one's individuality in the collective. It's the illusion that we have of individuality now in a three-dimensional reality, which is in fact an illusion. Nobody is an individual. Everyone is trying to seek validation as an individual and yet identifying as a specific group, which is different from another group. It is actually not individuality that we have now. It is the illusion of individuality, which comes from ego, and yet it tries to represent oneself as an individual, as different from everybody, to seek some sort of validation from those surrounding them, and yet it is the problem in the three-dimensional reality, and each individual still identifies specifically with a specific type of group, yet in the collective, one is completely applauded and recognized and loved and appreciated and accepted as that beautiful, special, individual piece of the puzzle. And one is not asked to fit in or be like any other, not one other single other piece of the puzzle. And yet, 2 or 3 or 4 pieces of the puzzle all fit together so beautifully. It is the perfection of the individual and the collective which makes the collective work.
Mm-hmm. And we are coming up here with a question. What about health? What about health in the fifth dimension? What does that look like for humanity as they enter this new frequency?
In the higher frequencies, mm, this physical vessel that we have in the higher frequencies is designed to last. It doesn't really have much of an expiry date. As we become part of the new earth, mm, our belief systems are rewritten. The only reason that we age or die or become ill right now in this slightly denser reality is purely a belief system. It's a belief system, it's a genetic belief system, it's a collective conscious belief system. There is absolutely no reason for this. It is purely a belief system, kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. As the collective consciousness is shifting to releasing these limiting belief systems, we will emerge into a new reality where the collective consciousness is that there is no limitation at all. And if we can shift this collective consciousness into this new belief system that there is no limitation, then there is no limitation on the lifespan of a human body. It is designed to last. It is not designed to degenerate. This is purely a belief system. It's a genetic belief system. It's a collective consciousness belief system. So once this entire shift, and as we start nearing this entire shift, collective consciousness releases limiting belief systems. So health becomes a belief system. So one's health is completely dependent on one's belief system. If one believes that one is ill, one will be ill. So the collective consciousness here is going to play a big part, but already as individuals, we have the capability to change our belief systems and therefore change our health.
Mm-hmm.
The
This is a
health.
plug we think many will be ready to pull from the wall. Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think so. I think it's going to change tremendously in the near future. Or it's already changing. It's already shifting. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally just unwiring our brains and realizing which parts are belief systems. And the fact that all of these programs that we have running on, where there is no limitation at all whatsoever, there's no limitation. And anything that we believe is to be a limitation is purely a belief system which can be unplugged.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Wonderful.